Thank you, my friend, for being here. This is a 1999 Pontiac Firebird, but this tab can fix on all 1994 to 2001. So that means you can apply the same technique to those models, 1994 to 2002. So that's the reason why I'm going to replace it. You can see the rear window right there. But most of the time, it is a lot better to replace the top two when you're going to replace the rear window. You can save a little bit of money just by replacing both at the same time. This tab it is old, and I'm going to replace it, and you will see the whole process on this video. Well, you're not gonna see the whole process. You will see at least 90 to 95% of the process, but you will be able to get the other 5 or 10% where you are taking them apart. Make sure to protect the paint because you don't want to avoid any scratches, any damage to the paint, so it's very important to protect it. To replace this tab, you have to make sure you have the right tab first. Make sure that you can buy the tab online. You can order it. Just make sure to give it your years and model of the car. That way you can get the right tab. And when you get it, make sure to check it. Make sure that tab is working properly. In case if it's not working properly, you have to let the customer know that it's not something is wrong with it. If it is yours, I think you're supposed to know it already. So I'm going to start taking them apart. You will need 2 screw gun Phillips. You will need like 10mm socket. This is the rear window. You see I protected the glass too. It is not necessary, but I don't want to take any chance that that window gets scratched. You see that marking there? So same thing with the rear window. It comes with those marks, and you just have to remove the old one and put the new one. First, you have to start removing all the screws from the front area. I always start doing this way. Some people start from the back first. It doesn't matter from where do you start. The most important thing is that the end the job to come nice. So I remove that metal, and I am gluing this part. You have to remove that part because it's with glue, and you should, when you put it back, you have to make sure to put it with glue too. So I got the front part out. So now I'm going to remove part of the headliner. Why I am taking this part if this part doesn't have nothing to do with the top? That's how the screw are Phillips. This part had to do a lot with the top. Why? Because in order to replace the top, you have to remove half of the headliner, and you will see it later. So I unglued that part, and I have to remove 1 screw right there. So I'm going to move the top forward or close it half away. I don't have to move all the way forward. After I remove the front part, I have to remove 1 cable from the side. Just make sure, pay attention on the cable is connected, because you have to put it back. Same way. It's attached with 1 rivet. 1A is the thickness of that rivet. And it's coming all the way from there to the front. So you have to remove this gasket too. This gasket comes with 2 screws. You have to remove it, are Phillips. And here I had that thing. So after that, you have to remove a piece of metal right there. It comes with 4 Phillips screws. See those Phillips? Just put everything in a safe place, because you have to put everything back. In case if you lose one of those parts, you have to replace it by a new one. So I removed that metal already. And then I'm going to remove this metal too. That metal comes with 1 rivet and 1 screw. So I remove the screw first, and then I have to cut it right here. Why I cut it right there? Well, because I can have the access easily to remove those screws. And those screws are special. I like an Allen screw. See? And this is out. So same thing with the other side. Now I am ungluing this part. So that side is out. It is not done yet, but at least it's out. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. But before I'm going to remove the rivet from the top, that is holding the tab in there. Just make sure how that cable is. That cable goes through part of the tab, and you have to put it back the same way. So I got that. I see I am bringing that cable out, and that the function of that cable is to keep the tab down, or the way that when it rains the water might go through or wind might go through, and you don't want that to happen. So I am removing the other side, the same process. Just remove those two screws, remove that gasket, and now remove that piece of metal right there. If you when you are removing that gasket should go inside the metal channel. The metal channel have like the metal the piece of metal that I removed had like a two channel. You have to put the gasket in that part. Now we're going to remove that piece of metal right there, and you will see it from another angle. I showed you on the passenger side different, and now you can see from inside how it looks. So I am removing those screws. Come with two screws. I only showed you how to do one, so I remove it. And now I have to unglue this tab. When they put this tab, they put a lot of glue. That's why it's hard to unglue it, but that's okay. It's supposed to be like that. And it's stuck in there, so I'm gonna move that convertible a little bit back. Now we're going to close it. So in order to remove this tab, I have to remove it from there. I can cut it, or I can remove a plastic from the headline. I prefer to cut it because that's the easy way, but you have to end up removing those plastic later. So now we're going to remove all those nuts that are on the rear bar. There is a bar that's part of the convertible tab, and to replace this tab, you have to remove all those nuts in there. Are 10 millimeter the size of those nuts. So I am removing. You have to remove it all. There is no way how you can replace the tab without removing those nuts. Right there, the area right there is so the place is so tiny, you barely can fit on there. I am using a power tool, 1/4 ratchet as a air, but in case if you don't have like an air ratchet to remove those nuts, you can do it by hand. It will take you for a longer, yes, because you're going to do it by hand, but if you want to do it, that's not excuse to that's not an excuse. You can do it without a power tool. So I am removing all those nuts already. The passenger side, I already removed those nuts. I just want to show you right here. All those nuts are out, and the other side are out too. So what is next step? So next step, you have to separate that part of the convertible tab from the car. And how you do it, you just pull it a little bit. Don't pull it too hard, it's not necessary. If you pull it too hard, you might bend that frame, the molding frame in there. So the convertible tab has been disconnected from the car. Now you have to disconnect the top. How do you disconnect the top? As you can see, I have a lot of staple in there. You have to remove all those staples. Pay attention in there how the top it is in there. If you put it too much forward, will be a big wrinkle on the front. If you put it like shorter, will be too tight, so you don't want that to happen. Just see it from where the tab starts with the staple. And I have to remove all this staple. The new tab comes already with the mark, so don't worry about marking the old tab because the new one comes already with that mark. The tab that I'm going to use is Robin. It's a good brand. It comes marked already, so you just come and start removing the old one and start putting back the new one. When you buy a cheap tabs, like let's say you got it online for 150, 200 or 300, that is too cheap. Those tabs, it doesn't come with the mark. So I am removing that part already. See, I had to remove it. And it is easy by removing that part. You see that back area? I just removing that. That was a part of the convertible top. So now I am removing this part right here, those staples. It's same thing at the other side. I have to cut that part in there. And that window is holding with one rivet. The function of that rivet is hold the rear window in one position. Without that rivet, the top can move to the left or to the right. So I'm going to remove this one by the passenger side. I just pull it and slide it easily through. So I got it out. You see how easy it is to take them apart? It is not hard. You just have to be positive, have the tool, and have the part. So I got the old top right here, the old window right here. I just cut it, and I'm going to remove this material. I just cut it. That's all what I did. Cut the old one. After I cut it, I have to make sure to remove all those staples. So I got the old one. I don't need the old one. This is the new one. The new window, you have to put a mark in there because it has to be exactly on the center. Do not put it more to the left or more to the right. Exactly. I just put a mark on the top. The top should come with a mark. In case if it doesn't come with the center mark, you have to put them on. And the bar is have like a center mark. So put center mark on top of the center mark. Then you have to start pulling the window to the side. Pull it. You see right there? I pull it. I just put the staple. I pull, then I put a staple. What happens if you don't pull it? Well, wrinkle might be at the end. See those holes? You have to put those holes on top of the hole of the bar. The bar have holes, so you have to make sure those holes match. Then you have to staple. Put a lot of staple. The staple that you have to use is stainless steel. Do not use a regular staple. It has to be stainless steel 3/8 or 1/2 inch length long. See, you have to make sure to keep it straight. If you don't keep it straight, when the top is done and you close it, a big wrinkle might be there, so you have to keep that line straight. That yellow mark that you see it on there, it have it before from the original. I just remark because that way you can see it through the camera. The original mark is hard to see it through the camera. So I am cutting those holes because it is easy. If I don't cut it, if I don't cut the material, when I going to put them on the car, will be hard. So that way, right now it is easy because you have it outside. So there is a channel right there. Remember that channel? There is a channel right there. And the top, the rear window, top part, it has to go inside that channel. The rear window has like a piping. So that piping has to go inside there. Slide it little by little. If you don't have experience doing this kind of job, you might need somebody to help you to put this rear window in the right place. Slide it little by little. And you have to be sure to be a center. Make sure to center that part. Mark with mark. When you notice that top is on the right place, you can see right there just by seeing right there. Same extra right there. And there is a mark right there. I have to put the rivet back. So I make a hole, then I put a rivet. The thickness of the rivet is 1/8 thickness. And just make sure to put it back. Don't let it go like that. So right now I'm going to start putting this strap in there. I am using the old strap. It is a good material and it's good. One in a while I change it when it's ripped or when it's when they cut it, because sometimes they cut it. I don't know if it, the accident or people wanna have access to inside of the car, but sometimes they cut that strap. but I am putting back, it was in good condition. So this part is done. Now we're going to start putting the new tab. Be careful with the new tab because it is new. Don't scratch it, don't make any extra hole. Be careful. That tab should have a center mark right there. See the center mark on the rear area? Should have, in case if it doesn't have it, you have to make it. Why you have to make it? Because when you staple that part with the rear bar, it has to be exactly on the center. Make sure to center that part. You don't want that tab to be like a sideways, or short on the driver's side, or long on the driver's side. No, you want that tab to be center, other way water or wind, or when you are on the highway, you will feel the air, if the air is going through it. So I am putting that thing. That is a black strap, and you have to put a staple in there. If you notice, when I removed the old tab, the tab from the strap was disconnected. That's normal to happen. So I got that part. Now I'm going to put this elastic. Sometimes they send this elastic, but sometimes they don't. Now they didn't send it, so I have to use the same elastic and put it inside the tab. Some tab it doesn't have this elastic, but some it does. If you have it, make sure to put it back or replace it for a new one. If it doesn't have it, it doesn't have it. Right there you can sew it by hand, or you can put a snap, and you can put a snap. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to use a snap machine because it is easy and it is strong. So now I'm going to start staple the top, and make sure you see that mark in there. I didn't make that mark, I just remark with yellow with the chalk, but it was already on there. It wasn't that notable. That's what I put, mark it with chalk, and start putting a staple. When you put a staple, make sure to pull a little bit, not just pull a staple. You see the edge of that frame should match with the edge, that yellow mark in there. What happens if it doesn't match, or you pull it too much and you don't pull it enough? Well, it can be too tight, it can be with a lot of wrinkle. One of those might happen if you don't pull it enough, or you pull it too much. You have to be exactly. In case if you have to adjust it later, the top, you have to unstaple and adjust by pulling or by loosening a little bit. So I am pulling right here. I know for the angle where the camera is located, it's hard to see it, but you will see it later. So I just put a staple now. And I have to cut the hole right there. So I am making those holes, like I said before. It is so easy to do it right now, because if you try to put it like that, you might be able to put the screw through, make the hole to that material, but that would be hard. And believe me, right there with that tiny space on the rear part of this car, will be hard. So I am doing the same thing right here. I just pull it and make sure that yellow mark is on top of the on the edge of that bar. and you can see it right there. See, I just get it, put a staple, and that hold the material in place. And I have to pull it right here. Always pull it, that part in there, because if you don't pull it, you will have a big wrinkle, and you don't want wrinkle on the convertible top. The convertible top at the end should be plain, should be nice, should be looking nice. So I am making a hole right there because by any reason I forgot. I don't know why I didn't make it before, but I just made it right now. So pull that part and put a staple, and then so this convertible top, the rear area is done, and I just cut in the last part, and then I'm making those holes in there on the material. It's a vinyl convertible top, can be fabric, and fabric convertible top look nice. So I just remove, and that part is done, but I cannot keep going. I have to remove part of the headliner. See, that plastic right there belongs to the headliner, and behind that plastic is a strap, and it's like lifting, and that lifting belongs to the convertible top. So the new top have a listing, and I have to put them on there. So I remove that part, and I doing the same thing with the other bar. So it is out this part, so now I can put the convertible top forward. And first thing that I will do is put the wire through that part of the convertible top. See, I use a wire to pull the other wire. If you don't have, I had that wire, but if you don't have it, you can make it at a hanger, any wire. And I doing the same thing with the other side. And I put that rivet in there. So now it is time to put this tab. I'm not going to tie. I'm just going to put that bar in the place in there, and I'm going to put a few nuts, all of them by hand. See, I put one by hand, and I'm going to do the rest by hand. Now we'll tie it at the end. Some people tie it right now, but I don't want to tie it right now. I always do it at the end, so I put one more by hand. And I do most of them like that, you see? It's one right there, one more right there, and I put some more in there. Highlight six nuts. After you pull those 6 nuts, you have to put glue on here. This is part of the frame. You have to put glue on that material. That was the front part, and you have to put glue right here too, on both parts, the material and the metal, because both pieces has to stick strong. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. You can buy that glue in any upholstery supply in the United States. and I put glue right there. See that I put glue on the front part of the convertible, and it's drying right now. Very important to let it dry. It is drying, and I taken advantage of that drying process and putting glue right here, and I'm going to put glue on the other side. When I finish putting glue on both sides, I'm going to glue it, the front part. So both parts have glue, driver and passenger side, and it has glue on the front. You see, I haven't closed the top, and just pull it right here. Right now the top is a little bit loose, but you know, when I close it, that top will be tight. Not that tight, because one person has to be able to lock it. You have to pull and make sure right there you don't want to see no wrinkle. In case if you see any wrinkle on there, you have to unglue it and pull it. And I am pulling right here now. See, there was a big wrinkle, and I just play with that part a little bit, and you see right there. I have to be able to close it by myself. And I do the same thing on the other side. Okay, as you can see right there, this part that I'm doing right now is belong to the convertible top. There is a bar. That bar is a part of the car, and the top have like a lifting, and I have to glue that part together. Don't pull that part, just put glue, but do not pull. And I do the same thing right here. Put glue in there, and I'm going to do the other side. That's the middle bar. Put glue and then glue it together. Do not pull it too much. You don't want that part to look like if it is sinking down from outside. Just put glue and glue it. So right now I glue those two bars with the top. I have to put that plastic inside that bar. It's not hard because the plastic is already molding. I am using the old plastic. You know when it's hard? When you buy a new headliner, because it's a new plastic, it's hard to get it in there, hard. So, and sometimes you can't put them inside. You have to warm those plastic, or put it like hot air with the heat gun to make it flexible. That's one way when those plastic are hard to put them inside. But it's almost done. Just have to apply a little bit of pressure in there, because part of that plastic is in. And the plastic is in, so now I have to glue that part of the headliner. This part is done. I just have to put glue right, put those part in there. And I'm going to put those little screw. The metal is not there yet, but I have to put those screw in there. I just want to make the hole, because right there is a vinyl material, and the screw are in, so now I can put this metal in there, and I just tighten it. So that metal is inside there. Now I have to put the molding. Oh well, first I have to put a rivet. There is a rivet, and then it's a screw on the bottom. So I just put, I had to put that part with 4 Phillips screw, same screw that I had before. And it is done. So now I'm going to put the gasket, that rubber in there. I move the tab, I open the tab a little bit, like halfway. I just need a room to put those screws in. On the bottom had 2 screws. And now I put this gasket in there. You can use a spatula or you can use a flat screwdriver. And that part is almost done. I am not going to show you how to do the other side because it is the same. And that part is done. So now I'm going to open all the way and I'm going to finish that part. That is the last part of this convertible tab. Oh well, after this I had to time the convertible tab. I had to time it because I just put the nut by hand. I am putting glue on the headliner. You have to do that in case if you are doing one like this. Put glue on both parts, the cloth, and then put glue on the metal. And I am checking this part. This part is look like if it doesn't put enough glue in there, so I am putting a lot of glue in there too. So that is the old part. So I is making sure to the hole from the fabric and the hole from the metal match each other because it's the same part. So I got that part. Now I'm going to the material is behind here, so I have to make the top go a little bit up. That way I can finish that part. Now I can start putting all those screws in there. There is just one screw, same thing on the other side, but on the then I had to put like I'm not sure if it is plastic or wood, that part, but it's wrapped with material. That's why it is hard to see that part in there. Put all those screws that you remove right there. So I got one more thing, that piece of metal right there, put it with all those screws that I had before, and those screws are small, so make sure to use the same one, because if you are using a longer screw or you miss one of those screws, make sure to use the same side. You don't want those screws to come in through the other side at the top. So I am cleaning this part because it is done. It's better to clean it right now. And I just have to do one more thing. Tie all those nuts on the rear area. So I just close it. sometimes when the tab is new, it is hard to close. Because it is new, it has to stretch, and you have to be able to do it by yourself. In case if it is too tight, it's because you pull it too much. That is a big reason why it should be it is too tight. But in this case, it's not tight. I can do it by myself. And this tab, it has to stretch, so customer have to be able by themselves. I can see I have a small wrinkle on the left, but it's not tight. When I tie that that wrinkle will has to disappear. But you can see right now that thing looks nice. I am behind the window typing, and everything is tight right now. You can see right there that part is done. I already typed all those knots in there. I already finished the front area, the side, so everything that is done. When everything is done, you should start removing all those protection that you put them on there, just to avoid any damage from on the paint. So it's very important to protect it. So that's what I am doing right now, removing all those things. That's the last part that you should remove it, and I am removing the inside protector that I put it. And I will start cleaning. The liquid that I use to clean it is Armor. That is a good liquid. No, it's not. It's a dressing, better than Armor. It's just for a vinyl and plastic trim. Because this top, the color is not shiny. It is not shiny, and shouldn't be shiny. It shouldn't be shiny. So I am putting this just to make a little bit shiny, a little bit, and because it is all with dash on top, so this will make it look nice. It is good to clean it with a convertible tap liquid once a month if it is that tap is making out of vinyl. Always make sure to clean it with liquid. So it is done. Because it is done, I'm going to remove this plastic. So, and you can see it right there. The installation process of this 1999 Pontiac Firebird is done. This technique you can apply from the 1994 to 2002. It is the same, even the top, fixing all those years. So you see, it doesn't have wrinkle. That's excellent. A convertible top at the end should be plain. If you see a wrinkle on the convertible top, it's because the person who installed it didn't make it right, didn't install it right. And it is not tight. One person can lock it, and you see it. It's a vinyl convertible top. That part is from the strap. You see that marking there is from the strap, and I cannot do nothing about it. But at the end, the most important thing is the result. I show you, like I said before, 90 to 95% on this process, and you will get the other 10 or 5% during the removing or installation process. So I skip the easy thing. The hard thing, it is right here. The easy thing, I think you're going to figure out. That's what I skip it. But it's done. A few people have been asking me for this kind of job, and I have it for a long time ago on my desktop, and I decided to work on it, to edit and upload. That way you can have it on YouTube. I hope you enjoy it. In case if you are new to my channel, I have more than 500 videos related to car interior. 10% or 50% of those videos are not about upholstery, but are related to upholstery. So that's what I have it on there. If you haven't hesitated to subscribe it or still thinking about it, feel free to do it. And you will learn how you can make your own car interior, your own boat interior, install your own top, headliner, etc., etc. A lot of things related to upholstery, like this convertible top. This was not hard. There are some classic cars that they don't sell the top, especially those old ones, 60s, 70s, 40s. They don't sell the top. You have to make it out of scratch, or they still selling, but the customer want like a special color. You have to make it from zero. I have been making those top a lot, and I think I have some video on external hard drive. I will look for it, and then I will share it with you guys. If you are learning about upholstery, installing convertible top is not hard to do it. It is not hard because you buy the top ready-made and you just install it. The hard part is when you have to make it from zero. That's the hard part, especially if you don't have experience. But don't worry about it. On my channel, I will give you an idea how you can make it from zero, or how you can install it. I have more than 500 videos. You will find a lot of things related to upholstery in my channel, a lot of tips how you can do certain job if you are learning. If you are an expert doing car interior, thank you for watching my video. Maybe my video doesn't show you nothing new, but I really appreciate it because you are watching it. Thank you for support my channel. Thank you. See you in the next video.